On July 8th, 2009, the Golden State Warriors were going into the NBA draft needing direction, needing something to go their way. They had just finished their 2008 to 2009 season with a 29-53 record, placing them 10th in the West and missing the playoffs, something that they were used to as they'd only had one postseason appearance in 15 years. But with the Warriors' 7th draft pick, Golden State's luck was about to change.
With the 7th pick in the 2009 NBA Draft, the Golden State Warriors select Stephen Curry from Davidson College.
Steph Curry was a risk as a prospect. He had shown an obvious ability to shoot the ball, but he was small, scrawny, and he was questioned if he could finish around the rim in the NBA. But it's safe to say that this risk taken by the Warriors in trusting Steph Curry paid off. Over the next few years, the baby-faced assassin would prove to be one of the best rising talents in the league, and the Warriors supported this rising star in Steph Curry by drafting another kid named Klay Thompson, who could shoot the hell out of the ball and was an excellent perimeter defender. And later, they also drafted a big man to the Warriors from Michigan State named Draymond Green, who could defend your best big man every night and brought more energy to your team than the entire opposing squad combined. This trio of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green would rapidly grow together and build a dynasty that rivaled the best teams the NBA has ever seen. Using this homegrown talent, plus some talent gained through free agency that made the Warriors straight up unfair, Golden State would go on a dominant stretch where they would earn the best record in NBA history at 73 wins and 9 losses in 2016 and win 4 NBA championships in the span of 8 years.
What are they gonna say now?
But almost as quickly as the Warriors dynasty rose, it fell. Injuries, egos, and some bad luck had taken the Warriors from perennial finals contenders to a second-round exit in 2023 and a play-in tournament loss in 2024, making them miss the entire playoffs. These losses would lead to a big change to the Warriors that marks the end of a historic era.
Klay Thompson is on his way to the Dallas Mavericks. I'm told a 3-year, $50 million deal that'll include a player option. It's a sign and trade with the Warriors, with Charlotte.
Klay Thompson has signed a contract with the Dallas Mavericks, leaving the Golden State Warriors for the first time in his career. The Warriors dynasty that won 4 championships together is over, but what happened? All 3 players in Steph, Klay, and Draymond have good years left in their career. So how did the Warriors team fall seemingly when they had gas left in the tank? To answer that question, we have to start by going back to the 2019 NBA Finals. The Warriors were going up against the Toronto Raptors led by Kawhi Leonard, who was going full robot AI mode and hardcore carried Toronto to these finals. The Warriors were just coming off back-to-back NBA championships in 2017 and 2018 and wanted to go for a three-peat. Going into Game 5, the Warriors were down 3-1. Improbable to come back from, but it's been done before. The game was going in the Warriors' favor when something unthinkable happened.
Ibaka trying to stay with Durant, knocks it away, and Durant slipping.
Kevin Durant, who had been rushed back from a right calf strain he suffered in the second round of the playoffs, tore his Achilles. It was a horrible misfortune that hugely decreased the chance that the Warriors would win the championship. But they still had a shot. The Warriors still had their big 3 of Steph, Klay, and Draymond. After pulling off a miraculous win in Game 5, the Warriors were headed into Game 6 down 3-2. Once again, Golden State was winning over Toronto in Game 6 until this happened.
Thompson running the floor, and a foul.
In another huge stroke of bad luck, Klay Thompson went down with a torn ACL, and obviously he missed the rest of Game 6, although somehow he was able to come back and walk onto the court with a torn ACL to hit his free throws from the play that he got injured on. Respect. But the Warriors would ultimately lose this Game 6, meaning that they would lose the NBA Finals in 2019. But they had a bigger problem. They had 2 star players who had significant injuries, which is the first main factor in the Golden State dynasty's downfall. While KD would ultimately leave Golden State to join the Nets that offseason, Klay Thompson would miss the entire 2019 and 2020 season. And while trying to work up to get back to the NBA, he tore his Achilles in a practice in 2020.
Klay Thompson has suffered a full tear of his right Achilles.
In a series of unfortunate events, Klay Thompson would miss playing in the NBA from tearing his ACL on June 13th, 2019, to eventually working his way back over a grueling 2 years to play in the NBA once again on January 9th, 2022.
He's back!
And while Klay was back, he was not the same. The 2.5 years recovering from these injuries made him a different player. Klay was rusty at first getting back into the league for his shooting, but that eventually recovered and he could still nail his threes. But his defensive abilities just were not the same. He had a lot less lateral quickness and was turned into more of an offensive weapon instead of the two-way superstar he was in the past. And while all of these injuries were happening to Klay, injuries would just keep on rolling in for Golden State. During a regular season game in the start of the 2019 season, Steph Curry went in for a finish against the Phoenix Suns when some more bad luck struck.
Close out on the shooting hand side.
Steph Curry with a lot of contact. He's holding that left wrist.
Steph broke his right hand after Aaron Baines fell into Curry's hand trying to defend the rim. This painful injury took Curry from the Warriors for the rest of the 2019 to 2020 season, although he probably could have made it back into the lineup a bit sooner, but the Warriors were just absolute garbage that season without Steph or Klay in that lineup. Although this injury effectively ended the Warriors season, Curry was able to come back and be better than ever. And while injuries did play a part in the Warriors dynasty struggles, they were able to still recover from the majority of the ones that they suffered. And they even won a championship in 2022 after Klay and Steph were fully healthy. But directly after this championship, another one of the reasons came into play on how the Golden State Warriors would eventually fall, and his name is Draymond Green. While Draymond is a big part of the Warriors dynasty and a huge reason they won the 4 championships, over the course of all this winning and all this success, his emotional outbursts have caused real issues with his teammates for years. When KD was still on the Warriors, Draymond got in a heated fight with him after refusing to pass the ball to KD in the final seconds of a regular season game.
Iguodala with a factor 4 seconds to go. Draymond Green, it's knocked away, it's on the floor, time will expire, we're having overtime.
This argument on the bench got bad quick, and this led to Draymond Green eventually telling KD, "We don't need you, we won without you, leave." Which Kevin Durant did. He left the Warriors for the Nets in the 2019 offseason, which was the first offseason following Draymond's remarks to him.
Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that Kevin Durant is in fact headed to Brooklyn to join Kyrie Irving and DeAndre Jordan.
While KD going to the Nets was great for the competitiveness of the NBA as a whole, it was horrible for the Warriors. They lost one of the most prolific scorers and best players in NBA history, and if they were able to keep KD, maybe they could have been even more dominant than winning 4 championships in 8 years. But without KD, things were still going well, with the Warriors making a good young core to pair with the veteran star trio of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. After the 2022 championship, the team was on another high until Draymond's ego ruined a promising young star's career in Golden State, Jordan Poole, who was a great young piece coming off the bench for Golden State. He was a key player that they needed to maintain for their team's competitiveness in the modern NBA, and all that was ruined when this happened. Draymond Green full-on punched Jordan Poole in a Warriors practice, all because Poole was talking some shit. For a guy that talks more than maybe anyone in the NBA, you'd think that Draymond would be able to take a bit of trash talk back. But he took it personal and took Jordan Poole down. That season, the Warriors' chemistry would never recover, and Golden State would end up having to trade Jordan Poole to the Washington Wizards in the 2023 offseason, trying to salvage whatever chemistry they could on that team. Poole got punished for getting punched. Other notable things that Draymond Green has been a part of recently was choking out Rudy Gobert like he was part of the WWE and smacking Yusuf Nurkic in the face with a wind-up punch. As time went on, it looked like Draymond Green was losing control of himself with all these acts, and it really distracted from the Warriors trying to win basketball games. Especially when Draymond literally got suspended for 12 games after these outbursts, taking a key piece away from the Warriors.
ESPN sources say the NBA is suspending Golden State's Draymond Green indefinitely.
Keeping the harmony and chemistry of an NBA team, especially a contending NBA team, is very important. And with all these distractions, it was just extremely hard to focus on the actual basketball, not what was happening with Draymond. On top of Draymond's ego Klay Thompson was dealing with, the Warriors did not treat Klay as a priority on the team. After seeing the Warriors front office give Jordan Poole $140 million over 4 years and give Andrew Wiggins $109 million over 4 years, all Klay Thompson wanted as a contract was around $40 million over 2 years. But the Warriors front office told Klay they, quote, just can't do it yet. And as the final straw, the NBA community essentially blamed Klay Thompson for the Warriors' struggles these past 2 years. Mostly after a very bad game, admittedly, that Klay had in the 2024 play-in tournament where he went 0 for 10 shooting in an elimination game. All of these factors made Klay unhappy in Golden State. And now we got the move that would mark the end of an era. Klay Thompson signed with the Dallas Mavericks. Hey, I'm happy for Klay. I really hope that he does well in Dallas and he's able to find success with Luka and Kyrie. With only 2 NBA seasons in his career shooting under 40% from the three-point line, Klay is one of the best shooters of all time. And when you pair that with all of the open looks that he'll get created by Luka, it seems like it's going to be a winning combination. But part of me is sad. The young kid inside of me that watched Steph, Klay, and Draymond win their first championship and watched Klay break the record for the most points scored in a quarter was still rooting for the Warriors to make a comeback, for Klay to re-sign, but all good things must come to an end. The Splash Bros and the Golden State Warriors dynasty will be remembered as one of the best teams in NBA history, and we're lucky to have been blessed to watch it happen.